we're going to move on now from the excellent to maybe the not so excellent by looking at our turkeys of the year.
This is where the fun begins.
Bring it
How
on.
offended am I going to be? That's why I
How
want to know.
offended? Well, I'm a little bit offended by the first one of these because I don't think it deserves to be on the worst of the list.
Ooh.
But here we go.
Here we
We
go.
actually have a joint fifth worst film here. So here they
We're
are.
doing the 5, are we?
Yep.
5, okay.
You're not here.
We're not there. The car exploded. Come get the girls. I have to stay here with Woodrow.
I'm not the chauffeur. I'm the grandfather. Where are you?
Asteroid City, Farm Route 6, mile 75.
Junior stargazers and space cadets. Each year we celebrate Asteroid Day, commemorating September 23rd, 3007 BC, when the arid plains meteorite made Earth impact.
Miami Center. Is anyone there?
Say your tail number and intention.
Doug, what's going on?
I've got an emergency up here. My wife and daughters are on this plane.
I need you to stop a plane crash. You're the only person I know who can save them.
Has he flown a King Air?
So, people number 5 is Wes Anderson's Asteroid City, which I don't think deserves to be on that list, but it was the most Wes Anderson-y film ever. And I guess if you don't like Wes Anderson, which I think, Scott, you were the one who put that as your worst film of the year. Discuss.
Yeah, so I'm going to say for me, Wes Anderson is actually hit or miss. There are some of his films, Grand Budapest Hotel, Moonrise Kingdom, that I really love. But then there's others that I really hate. And in this one, it was just absolute twaddle. Just style over substance to the nth degree. It just annoyed me. I spent most of the time in the cinema bored and annoyed, thinking this isn't very funny, and the way that he makes people talk when you're not in the right mood for it or you're not on board, it can really drag. And yeah, I just felt very annoyed at this movie.
Yeah. Well, your 10 points for your worst film of the year, that is what rocketed it into that list. So Wes Anderson, if you're watching, Scott Forbes, he lives in Aberdeen, up there, right? You know where to find him. And our joint fifth film there was On a Wing and a Prayer with Dennis Quaid trying to save his family, including Heather Graham, from disaster when the pilot of their plane has a heart attack. Based on a true story, but oh dear, it was pretty bad. Made worse by this really, really annoying radio ham girl in her bedroom mansplaining the basics of aeronautics to to her little pal who was completely clueless and asking clueless questions. It was shocking. I mean, that was a bad film, and I will agree that was a bad film. Okay, number 4, I think here will please myself and Andy.
Is a great walking city.
Quelle donne, le viti più vecchie danno l'uva più dolce.
What did he say?
The older the vines, the sweeter the fruit.
Oh, yes, we still got it.
I'm delighted that you'll be joining us tonight.
There's no problem if 4 random women show up.
This is Italy. There's always room for random, beautiful women.
Gianni?
Who is Gianna?
What are you doing here?
This is my cooking school.
Wow.
Oh.
I'm not saying they're generic, but I was like, 80 for Brady wasn't that bad.
Exactly.
It
Yes.
was.
There were a lot of films like that this year.
Yeah, we had Joyride, we had Take That Greatest Days, this one, and 80 for Brady. Groups of women
This
go
one-
on road trips, get drunk, lose their documents, have one-night stands, fall in with each other, fall out with each other. Same plot in every single one of those films. Absolute rubbish.
Yeah. If for audio listeners in particular, if you didn't pick up on the film, that is Book Club, the next chapter, or Book Club 2, as it were. Pray God there won't be another chapter in the book. I'm sure they will, because there's bound to be a film crew that are going to want to have some nice European holiday somewhere. So yeah, that is our number 4th worst film. Number 3, again, I think this is primarily Andy and myself putting this up here.
How old are you?
You know, I'm just wearing my dead boyfriend's shirt and texting his old number.
Rob, wanted to make sure you got one of these.
I have a phone.
You have a personal phone. This is a work phone.
I miss you so much. There's an aching inside of me.
Do you have a question for me?
Yes, Miss Dion. Do you really believe in all these things you sing?
You obviously know nothing about it.
What?
Love.
Can we give an example of how lazy the script writing was on this film? We've quoted it before. She's in a stadium, first night of her tour. She's doing a sound check in the afternoon. One of her people rushes on and says, "Miss Dion, will you approve the posters for the stadium tour?" What? And the whole thing is just vomit-inducing from start to finish, isn't it, Bob? I mean, it is just...
It is. Yeah.
I mean, I walked out of the cinema literally racing for the toilet. I felt physically sick.
My 2 daughters are Celine Dion fans, and they cannot wait to see this film. I have warned them off it. I have warned them off it, but they will need more. They will need more than that, I think. Yeah. So Love Again is the film starring Celine Dion, who I'm afraid she can sing well, but boy, can she not act. And
can she not act? But nobody can. The writing was unbearably lazy.
It was shocking.
Shocking.
It was a shocking film. And talking of shocking films, here's our number 2, which I think might surprise you, Andy. But this is what we jointly declared our number 2.
My father passed away, and his last wish was for us to visit his childhood village and reconnect with our roots. So, we're having a reunion. We're going to Greece.
Oh, yeah?
1, 2, 3, 4. And by we, I mean the whole family.
Who wants souvlaki?
Paging souvlaki. Anybody by the name of souvlaki on this flight?
It's shocking, right?
We're going on a reunion with people we've never met. What?
This was my number 1 worst film of the year, personally, and yours. Unfortunately, it didn't make it our combined number 1 film. There was another film which more of us backed as a terrible film, but My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3 was yet another excuse for filmmakers, who include Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, were the producers behind that. I mean, how? Why? Right? But it's a shocking film with absolutely devoid of laughs for me. And I'd argue for anybody. Certainly the cinema was silent as a grave when I went to see it. Not a single person laughing.
I've been to Corfu. What Corfu ever did to have this pile of absolute reindeer droppings dropped on it is beyond me. I mean, it is just... the worst, one of the worst films, not just of the year, but one of the worst I have ever seen. I mean, it was
shocking. It is that bad. It is that bad. There's like...
I'm feeling very lucky that I've not seen any of the last 3 here.
Oh, well, Scott, you're a lucky man.
You are such a lucky man. You are so fortunate.
Yeah. Whoa! Is there somebody rebuilding a flat there?
Somebody smashing Greek plates.
Yes, that's exactly what it should be. So, terrible film. That makes our number 2. But there was one film that we jointly declared to be worse.
What could possibly be worse?
This is it.
Los Angeles, the city of angels. More like the city of dirty little secrets. People pay me to look into the activities of its finest citizens. I'm a private detective. The name is Philip Marlowe.
I hear that you are looking for someone.
We're all looking for someone.
I'll pay you $1,000 if you find him for me.
The puzzle has many pieces. I don't know what you're gonna find.
So that is Marlowe on Sky, and the reason it's there is it generally got bad votes from all of us. It was my 5th worst film, it was Scott's 4th worst film, and it was Emma's worst film of the year.
I was getting a bit worried that I hadn't had any appear yet, but yeah, I'm feeling better about it now.
I'd forgotten about it completely. I mean, it's not in my list, but had I remembered it, just goes to show how bad it was. It had gone out of my consciousness and didn't even make my list.
It is.
But yeah, you're right. You're right.
It is a pretty terrible film. I mean, the acting is universally terrible. Even great people like Daniela Melchior, who's one of my actors to watch, her cameo in that film is absolutely atrocious, really bad. She should purge it from her CV if she can. The dialogue is shocking. I mean, it's directed by Neil Jordan, isn't it? I mean, it's crazy that Neil Jordan should write a film that ends up as our worst film of the year. But there you go. That's what it did. Let's just have a quick look at our summary of worst films. So we had 33 films in our list. I should add here that Dan did not submit a worst 10, so that's out of 40. So we had 33 different films out of a possible 40, which is going some. And only 6 films got more than 1 vote in the list, and that was them: Marlowe, My Big Fat Greek Wedding, Free, Love Again, The Book Club Next Chapter, On a Wing and a Prayer, and Ant-Man Quantum Mania. And here's our individual worst film list. These are actually our individual worst 10. And again, highlighted on the screen for viewers on YouTube are the films which only one of us voted as bad. So on my list, I had My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, Best Christmas Ever, which I thought was absolutely dreadful. It kind of summarises my whole crop of terrible Christmas films that we had this year. But Best Christmas Ever, I think, was a nadir for me. My number 3 was 65, the Adam Driver sci-fi prehistoric film, which I thought was absolutely dreadful. 4, Marlowe. 5, Love Again. 6, On a Wing and a Prayer. 7, Book Club 2. 8, a film called Maybe I Do, which was a dispiriting film about marital affairs. 9, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and 10, I had Disney's Haunted Mansion, which I think was pretty dire. Andy's worst 10, My Big Fat Greek Wedding at 3 at number 1, Love Again at number 2. You put Ennis Men in there at number 3, which I must admit I haven't seen because I got somewhat put off by your comments. 4 was The Book Club Next Chapter. 5 was 80 for Brady, which you were the only one to put. 6 was Exorcist Believer. 7 was Anyone But You. Oh, that was the one that's just, which we'll review next week, so that'll be entertaining because Scott rated it. Andy, you had it in your worst films of the year, so that'll be fun. 8 was No Hard Feelings, a Jennifer Lawrence comedy, which I must admit I quite enjoyed, but there you go. 9 was Magic Mike's Last Dance, and hopefully it will be. And 10 was Joyride, about the South Korean people pretending to be a South Korean K-pop group, wasn't it?
A group of women go on a road trip, get drunk, fall in with each other. Where have I heard that before?
Yeah, common theme. There's been 2 themes for the films in this year. Women going on holiday and AI films. Yeah, that's the theme for this year. What will it be this year? Yeah. And then Emma's worst starts with Marlowe at number 1, as we discussed. Old Dads at number 2. See, all of these films are ones which only Emma has said. Dream Scenario, which I can't believe you've got as a worst film with Nicolas Cage. I thought it was really good.
It was okay.
Beau is Afraid with Joaquin Phoenix, which I also thought was really good. Babylon, which I agree was very long, but don't think it deserves to be there, but that's my view. The Last Rifleman, the companion film, if you like, to The Great Escaper with Pierce Brosnan at number 6. Infinity Pool, which I can't actually remember. That was a weird one, wasn't it? Yeah, that was a weird.
Just pointless.
Yeah. 8, you've got The Fabelmans. The Fabelmans, your worst films. Strays at number 9, which I agree was quite scatological and not very good.
Wait.
Yeah.
Now, it's not Strays, it's The Strays. It's a different film.
Oh!
It's not the one with the dogs.
It's not the one with the dogs.
The one with the dogs.
I thought you just mistyped that.
No. There is a film called The Strays. It's about a woman who is like hiding from her past and gets a new family and a well-to-do life, and her past comes to catch up with her.
Oh, okay. My apologies. Right.
I mean, either way.
Yeah. And number 10 was Dead Shot, which was a sort of Northern Ireland terrorist thing set in the 70s, which, again, didn't think it was great, but I didn't think it was too bad either. So Scott's worst, number 1, Asteroid City. Number 2, Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, so we'll leave you to discuss that one with Dan later. Number 3, the Take That film, Greatest Days, which I agree was
a road trip.
Great road trip. There you go. Number 4, we got Marlowe. Number 5, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. 6, On a Wing and a Prayer. 7, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. 8 was Napoleon, which I again would say no, but there you go. 9, Bottoms, which again I quite enjoyed. And 10, Peter Pan and Wendy, which I think I can agree with you on for that one. Yeah. So that is our best films and our worst films of the year. Will you agree with them? Maybe, probably not. Given our list was so diverse, you're almost bound not to agree with all of those. But those were our views, and isn't it wonderful that we can all have such a different view of cinema films?